All right, good afternoon, class. Welcome to week number 9. That is right, week number 9 of your 73 14 course, which is your reference course. As always, I am your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin. And today we are going to do a few state of the course updates, and then we're going to look at a couple of career or vocational guidance resources to just teach you all about those. Make sure you are familiar with those, know that they exist, and know what they do broadly. And if you want to get some practice with those, I suggest you do so either through Mizzou or through your public library, especially when we talk about the what used to be called lynda.com, and there's a new name for that resource. That's not going to be offered through Mizzou, so you can see if your public library that serves you offers that resource. But yeah, so we're going to look at 3 resources related to vocational guidance, and we're going to do that after we do a few course updates. So let's jump into those course updates right now. We should be able to keep this one at 35 minutes, and remember, you can speed me up. Now, the first thing that I want to do is say that with the course updates, the virtual reference practice papers have, for the most part now, all been graded. There are a few outstanding grades. Some of you, I was just missing some information, and so I had to contact you to get that information, and I'll get your grades in as soon as I can. But if you do not have a grade and you have not heard from me, then that means that I don't have an assignment from you. And if you have not turned in an assignment at this point, I don't know what to tell you. But you still may want to contact me and work something out with me. But yeah, there will be severe, stiff late penalties for anyone who hasn't turned in anything as of yet. But still, if you have some valid reason as to why you haven't turned anything in yet, then again, I recommend that you contact me and maybe we can work something out. And if you did hear from me about any missing content and you have emailed me, then I will get your grade in this week, so worry not if you fall into that category. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I need to apologize to some of you. The Wikipedia assignment is not due until October the 31st, I believe. Let me just make sure that I'm right here and that I'm being consistent this time, because I wasn't consistent last time. Yes, October the 31st. So, because it was late when I was grading, I'm sorry. It's going to be late when I'm doing a lot of stuff these days. Those of you who are parents can understand. And so what happened was, yes, I was up a little later getting some things in, and then, of course, like everybody, I've got a lot of other things going on in my life. That's the case with everybody. But having said that, I think that for some of you, I said that while I was grading your assignments, while I was grading your virtual reference assignments, that your Wikipedia assignments would be due in a week, and I apologize for that. I was actually getting those mixed up with something else that was going on. So I apologize for that. Your Wikipedia assignments are, like Canvas said, due on October the 31st. So if you heard something different from me in a comment that I made while grading your paper, your previous paper for virtual reference practice, then go by what is in Canvas, and what is in Canvas is October the 31st. If you got any questions or want further clarification, of course, email me, austinj@missouri.edu, any place, anytime, any town, and I will get back to you and assist you and make sure that things are clarified. But yes, that assignment is due on the 31st. All right. Another thing that I want to address is that quite a few of you, and I said this would happen, and I knew this was going to happen, and it did happen. So quite a few of you actually did not incorporate the capitalization and initializing of given name rules in APA that I told you were common mistakes with APA. So I did mark off for those, and I don't want to mark off for that again. So if you got marked off for that, please, please, please revisit the Purdue OWL or a resource that helps with APA citation. You can visit the Writing Lab if you need to. The Writing Lab does have a virtual option So you can visit Mizzou's Writing Lab, and if you don't know how to get to that, you can pretty much just, in fact, I'll do it right now. You can pretty much just Google Mizzou Writing Lab, and it'll come up. So I don't know why I've got all this Judd Nelson stuff up here. Okay, so Mizzou Writing Lab Remote Services. For those of you who do not live in Columbia, this is probably what you're going to want to use. But yes, once you Google that, the online writery, we named it Tony. I don't know what's going on with that. But yes, so there you go. You can reach out to them, and they can help you with formatting citations. So if you need that type of help with your APA, please take advantage of that, because you pay to take advantage of that, first of all. But then also, yes, I do not want to take points off anymore for APA errors. And then also, some of you just were inconsistent, and that's something that you also have to watch out for. So if you, there were quite a few of you who did, like, you did the capitalization right in one of your citations and then didn't with the others, or vice versa, or you, the same with the initializing. You would initial for one or two citations, and then you would write out the first and middle name for the, for another citation. And I was like, why are y'all being inconsistent on this? Be consistent throughout. Those rules that apply with APA, they're going to apply with all of your entries in your reference list. So just, again, be focused on that and don't make that mistake again. Again, if you need some guidance, I suggest the online writery. Okay. All right. Let's look into some career and vocational resources. All right. So I apologize. This is actually going to make the video a little longer, but there's something going on that's weird with my recorder. Okay. Let me pause again. Okay. We got kind of a crisis averted there. So, now I am on Mid-Continent Public Library's page here. But I believe Ferguson's is also offered through Mizzou. In fact, let's check that out. Might as well. All right, so let me just see here. This is Ferguson offered through Mizzou. If Ferguson is not, okay, maybe it isn't. All right, I'm gonna pause again. I'm sorry for the choppiness. All right, I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. A lot of times just because Missouri doesn't have it where I would find it, that doesn't mean that they don't have it. But a lot of times you will have, when libraries break their databases down into type, you are going to see that they oftentimes do still have a type for career guidance or vocational guidance. And I don't see that right now. I could chat with the librarian, but I'm not going to do that. What I'll do instead is just go ahead and teach you all of this from the Mid-Continent Public Library website. And most public libraries will also have like these vocational guidance type of databases. But what we're going to look at today, we're going to look at Ferguson's Career Guidance Center. We are going to look at, remember I said that there was something that used to be called lynda.com. It's now LinkedIn Learning for Library. And we are going to look at the vocations and careers database offered through Gale. So we are going to look at these three things here, and these things are usually used, not always, but they're usually used. Hold on, now I got to blow my nose. I know this is so choppy. All right, so yeah, a lot of these things are used generally to help, especially high school and first year college students, and then also community college students. A lot of times you will see these databases used in order to help them with career guidance, especially if during freshman comp classes, a lot of times students are assigned something related to how to, some sort of career focused basic assignment. You will find that a lot with freshman composition. And so these are the databases that a lot of times are going to be helpful for students who are tackling these, specifically the Gale and the Ferguson database. Now, what used to be called lynda.com, which is now LinkedIn for Libraries, you're not necessarily going to see that used a lot of times for an actual paper, but still that database in particular does a lot in order to give people, there's a lot that database is used for in order to show students how to, take some different courses and that sort of thing in order to prepare them for whatever career they are trying to go into. So let's go ahead and get into Ferguson's first. And Ferguson's, okay, hold on. All right, so when you come into Ferguson's, this is going to be the landing page or the home page that you are going to come into, and you can create a sort of login for yourself, a profile for yourself, I should say. You can create a profile for yourself, and that way you can save things that you've done previously. You can get things kind of fine-tuned to you as a person as far as the content that's being offered on this database. But we're not going to do all that right now. We're just going to kind of explore a little bit as to what is offered here. So you see these different features right here. First of all, I do like this, and so I'm going to mention this first, but I'm not going to go into this. Again, this is something that you can explore on your own time, but prepare for your career. They have resources, including video resources. I love multimedia, which is why I record videos, but they've got multimedia related to doing a good cover letter, doing a good resume, interviewing, networking, and workplace skills. I don't deal too much with the find career and job postings issue. You can use a lot of other resources that are free over the web and Google, things through Google in order to find a career, and that sort of thing. I wouldn't come here for job postings. I'd actually be more likely to go to Monster or Indeed in order to find job postings. But then also, this gives you resources for looking for the right school for yourself, looking for financial aid, and then education opportunities. So you have a lot of good things under the plan your career section there. And then you've got, this is what we are going to go into right here. We're going to look at some of the research industries, browse professions, career assessment, find a career path stuff. So first, when it comes to browsing industries, you can see what's in the various industries that you maybe, like, let's say that you are interested, for instance, in nursing. Then you could come to, these are the featured industries. These are the ones that come up the most with, specifically the most with college students. I don't know about advertising, but a lot of these others, especially nursing and public safety and education, these are things that you will find a lot of students are trying to go into. And you can look at all industries here. But when it comes to healthcare, nursing is always a big one. So you can actually click the overall career field that you're looking at, and then you'll be brought to a landing page, and that landing page will include an overview as well as background, structure, industry outlook, which is always very good to be aware of, and some other things, learn more, resources and associations. And associations are a lot of times where you can find scholarships and grant money. So when you have students or when you have patrons who are coming in looking for scholarships or scholarship opportunities, this may also be one place to look. You can look at those associations, and they just need to follow the leads and be diligent and see if there are scholarship opportunities related to the associations or provided by the associations within that field. So you have that. This gives you, again, that outlook and everything. You can browse professions, and so the good thing about this, and I'll just go into this one here, they have a lot of professions, by the way, so maybe I won't go into that one. In fact, one that comes up a lot is actually dental hygienist, so I actually use that one as an example a lot. So dental hygienist, you can select that one, and when you select a particular career, this is great because you have all of these resources. You will have an overview here, so you've got this overview. Tells you the overview, of course, being a dental hygienist. You've also got a video that you can watch if you like. Again, multimedia, quick facts, which are always good because a lot of people, when they are really just trying to find a lot of information and don't have a lot of time, then they do need to hit those quick facts. The median salary for a dental hygienist, that is unbelievable. I did not know it was like that. It is more money than I make. Minimum education level, associate's degree. If you're looking at school subjects, biology, health, English also. And you've got some other information there. And then when you come over here, you get this table of contents, and this gets you even further into some things that you may want to be aware of, including information about the job, earnings, the lowest paid 10% made roughly around $51,000 annually, so they're doing pretty good. Tips for entry. Outlook is always something that you want to look at, and with Outlook, employment and advancement opportunities and prospects, those go along with that as well. When students a lot of times need to know what type of certification and stuff that they'll need, they can use that tab and so forth and so on. So this gives you a lot of good information on these specific jobs and what you need to do in order to try to break into those jobs. And then you have a career assessment, which I'm not actually going to take the assessment, but if you have the time, you might want to go into this if your public library offers Ferguson's and just take this assessment and see what you get. And this is one thing I always recommend, that you take some of these practice tests and assessments that you have in some of your commonly used databases, because then you know what to tell your patrons to expect. So that's always a smooth move to do. And so yes, if you want to take the time to actually take the career assessment, that might benefit you, so that if you are ever recommending this database to a patron in the future, then you already have a leg up in knowing what would be, what the assessment test is like. And then finding a proper career, there's some resources in here that will help you kind of get in tune with what your career options are. So Ferguson's is used very, very heavily, actually, even though it seems like what I just showed you, it probably seems like a lot of that information is actually available through Google, and it can be available through Google. People can find this information through Google, but I do recommend that you familiarize yourself with Ferguson's, because Ferguson's is still a curated resource and something that they're making sure you're getting some good information within Ferguson's. You're getting up-to-date information. You're not getting things that are written in a way to lead you in one way or another to the benefit of some recruiter or something like that. You can be assured that the motives of the people who put Ferguson's together is to provide that vocational guidance to the library patrons, not to do other sorts of things. Okay, so that is Ferguson's. I recommend that you play with it, and now we are going to look at the Gale resource. Okay, so now we are in Gale OneFile for vocations and careers, and you have topic finders. These search tools for the topic finder, the search guide search, subject guide search, and the publication search, I don't really use those a whole heck of a lot. That doesn't mean you won't have to in your capacity as a librarian, but I never really had to use those much in my capacity as a librarian. Really, with Gale OneFile, you pretty much can do what you need to do here. So this is what, for the interest, in the interest of not making this video too long, I'm just going to do this type of search here. Dental hygienists. Do the same thing I just did with the other database. And what you get here is, this is very useful, because what it is when you've got these students that are doing like the freshman composition type of papers and everything, and they have to get library resources about a field that they're interested in working in or something of that nature. They have to get magazines, journals, newspapers, and so forth. This is where you want to come. So as you can see, I put in that search for dental hygienists, and I have 178 magazine sources, 102 academic journal sources, and 53 newspaper sources. And what you can do, for one thing, it defaults into this full text documents, and I like that. So I would say keep that default there. But then also, one thing that I just love that you have certain things that you can do here. You can filter your results pretty easily. So it will sort by relevance, and that is how you want it to sort. But for instance, you could come to publication date, and a lot of times students, for instance, in professional practice, they have to have something from the past 5 years. So I could do 2016 to 2021, apply this, and this should go down. What did I do? Okay, I didn't do that right. Let's try that again. October 2020, October 2017. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so this is what I'm supposed to be doing, is actually picking the day too. So you can do this to I am recording this on October 18th. So I can do that there and then apply. And now I should go down. Yes, so I went from 178 results to 10 results within the last 5 years. And you can remove these filters by clicking this X here. But the great thing about this again is when you do this, you will have the full text right here in the database. So if I click on this first one right here, bada bing, bada boom, I've got my full text right there. I don't have to deal with any journal finder option. I don't have to go through Interlibrary Loan. It's right there for me. But that's because that full text option was checked. And so that's a key reason as to why you want this Gale 1 file in your toolbox, because this is probably as good a database as any. Maybe with the exception of Academic Search Premier or Academic Search Complete, depending on what the institution is. This is about as great a database as any as far as making sure that you are getting information that is easily digestible for first-year students or for community college or for high school students, and things that allow them to retrieve information on their chosen career path very, very quickly. Okay. So you have that. Now, as far as those other little features that go on, I am just going to, if you want to play around with these yourself, by all means, go for it. I'm just going to go ahead and go into it really quickly just to show you kind of what goes on with this. So if I do dental, actually, I'll leave it at dental right now. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to help you with adjacent terms that you are going to need to look at in order to actually, it's kind of almost like a bit of a thesaurus tool, if you will. And so when you are looking for certain types of information related to, like if you're a dental hygienist, then yes, you're going to deal with and need to know a little bit about tooth decay, oral health, that sort of thing. So this helps you find relevant terms to the field that you're going into, relevant concepts to the field that you're going into, and it'll allow you to actually, just quickly jump off and learn a little bit about these things through your database without you actually having to go back and go through and look through a bunch more sources. This allows you to it's kind of like a pathfinder that just takes you right to some of the information that you're going to need related to the career concept that you picked. And you can do the tiles or you can visualize it as a wheel. But again, these don't get used, in my experience, they don't get used that much, but a savvy librarian will learn how to master usage of these things and then incorporate the usage of these different tools into their reference service. Okay. And actually before we go into what used to be called Lynda, I am going to show you something that is free over the web. Okay, so before we get into Lynda, the last thing I did want to show you, because this is also very, very relevant to your providing research support for people who are looking for vocational guidance and that sort of thing. And that's going to be the Occupational Outlook Handbook by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is a source that's been around for a long time, originally published in 1948. So it's been around for a long time, and now you can get all of that great information online very conveniently from BLS.gov, Bureau of Labor Statistics.gov. And so if we go into this, resource right here, there are some, again, you actually do have a lot of, and by the way, you don't need library membership or anything like that in order to access this. Again, this entire thing is just offered free over the web. But again, you get a lot of great information. You can browse occupations and you can browse them by some different criteria here that people are often very interested in, like field of degree. If you're an English major like I was, you can go in and you can scroll down to English, and you can see some median annual wage. You can see employment numbers and some different breakdowns that are going on here, what people are doing if they are English majors. A lot of these people end up, library occupations. So we're there, but a lot of people who are English majors, they end up in things that are not related to English and writing, but that's okay. So a lot of them end up in management or their office and administration support. I'm a former newspaper reporter, media occupations, and that sort of thing. So you have that as a nifty little breakdown there. I'm going to go back, and we're going to have to go back quite a bit. You can look at most new jobs projected and fastest growing projected, things of this nature. And you'll see the occupations there: home health, cooks, fast food, registered nurses, security guards, and these sorts of things. So you get a lot of good breakdowns there. And when you see these fields, you see a number of new jobs projected during this particular decade and what they are expecting for median, not what they're expecting median pay to be. This is actually what median pay was last year in 2020. Okay, and as you can see, you got quite a trail off there. So hopefully, I don't know, bartenders are hopefully going to be doing a little better than this post-COVID. I do think that COVID has affected why the bartender median income there was so low in 2020. And you'll see highest payment, things like that. Also, the big thing that people are going to be doing, and you can go into occupational groups and that sort of thing, but the big things that people are going to be doing is, again, just searching. So if they have a career in mind, again, I'll go for dental hygienist. So if I look up dental hygienist, dental assistants, you can actually do the search, click it, and then you can get, again, a very, very good breakdown. And you got that suggested citation there, by the way, because they know that people are using this information for their student papers and that sort of thing. But your landing page is going to be the summary, and that includes wage information and that sort of thing. And then you can get into more detailed tabs here. What do they do? Because a lot of people, especially with libraries, people are asking, what do librarians even do? And so you can probably send them to the Occupational Outlook Handbook and let them, send them there and tell them they can learn what librarians do there. But you've got these other tabs here that are very helpful. How do you become a dental hygienist, education, important qualities, whatever licensing and certifications you need and that sort of thing. Pay. Job Outlook, again, is very, very important, and you can even get some state and area data, which I think you actually have to populate fields for this one, but you can do that, and then similar occupations and that sort of thing. Okay, so that is what the Bureau of Labor Statistics is useful for, and again, I would suggest that you might want to go in there and just play around with that, just explore it, see what other types of information, including the glossary. Is good to have the glossary handy so that if you don't know some of these terms that are showing up, like for instance, you'll have patrons that don't know the difference between a mean and a median, and you can take them to the glossary and that will help them. All right. So this is another one to have in your toolkit. And again, we're going to keep this under 35 minutes. So we are going to look at one more thing, and that's going to be LinkedIn for libraries, which used to be called lynda.com. All right, so you can come into, oh man, hold on. Oh dear, okay, and they have changed this around a bit. So now I can't find the things that used to be very easy to find, but anyway. All right, so I can go in here. And LinkedIn Learning, it offers a lot of courses. That's what it does. But what I'm saying is they have totally redone how things are organized and how you find things in here. So I will have to go back and relearn this, and I will do that at some other time, but you won't be able to benefit from that. But I'll show you some of the things that this can at least do. So when it talks about courses, and I'll just take the easy route, let's say that you are wanting to learn a little bit more about, let's say you are wanting to learn a little bit more about, let's say, graphic design. Graphic design. Like, let's say you want to do like the whole Photoshop thing. You can select the thing that you want to do, graphic design, and then you can click continue. Actually, I need to bring this window down. Whoa. Okay. Hold on. There you go. So you can do graphic design, continue. And what you can do is set these goals if you want to. This is a new feature. It wasn't there the last time I was, or at least it wasn't here in this part the last time that I tried to show my students that this existed. Start learning, and then what happens is you have these various courses that come up. So you can top pick screen. This is not, I am so sorry, y'all. This is not what it used to be. Okay, I'm just going to put in Photoshop and see what happens here. All right, Photoshop. Change. Databases get updated all the time, so that's why I can't just do these videos one time. I have to do them and redo them every year or every semester. But okay. So what you can have here, you've got Photoshop 2021, the essentials, essential training, the basics, and yes, you can just click that.
Photoshop is the industry standard for creating.
And then it just takes you into a source, and you have a into a course, not a source. And then you have multimedia content, and you are able to actually learn the different things that are included in your course. In this case, this is a course on Photoshop. But there are courses on a lot of other things. So if you put in small business thing, and a lot of small business people, they actually use LinkedIn to learn, LinkedIn for libraries to learn, skills that they can use for advancing their business. So let's say you wanted to learn a little bit about small business marketing. You could go to the small business marketing here, and you can select, for instance, a small business marketing course, or one of these other courses, and then just jump in and take it. And this includes how many people are attempting to learn currently through the coursework that you selected. So if you went for small business marketing, there are about 21,000 people who are taking this course right now or in progress.
Marketing is a non-negotiable.
With it.
Marketing
and you
is
can
a
actually
non-negotiable.
see the various modules you will have here on your left. And this includes information on how long the modules are, and you have quizzes and that sort of thing. But yeah, they've changed this around. So now I've got to learn this database. And I apologize if you feel that your time got wasted as far as being shown that, since I wasn't familiar with the interface as it now looks. But I still hope that you have seen enough that you want to explore and learn a little bit more about, when it was Lynda, it was so easy to use and so user-friendly, and people just loved it. And I think LinkedIn might be actually kind of maybe making it worse with improvements. I don't know, but maybe I just need to play around with it a little more, and maybe if I do that, I will see that I actually like it better than I used to. So we'll just have to see. But anyway, I'm going to leave it right there so that we keep this under 35 minutes. And again, I hope you sped this up. As always, I am your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin, aka Dr. Jace. And right now, the Cardinals are in first place in the NFC. But we hope that the Panthers can get back in. Until then, peace out. I'll see you next week for week 10. Bye-bye.